only eat watermelon, squeeze a little lemon on it, and I drink water, right? So this is my fast that I do, my long extended fast. For 21, sometimes I might do 30 days. So it's that time.
Hi there, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Get Your Ass Up and Move Fitness and Nutrition Podcast. As you guys can see, we have another special guest with us today.
Hello.
My friend Polo. We are actually Instagram friends.
Yes,
right?
yes. This is our first time meeting, too.
Very first time
meeting. That's the power of social media.
That's right. So thank you for taking the time out to join us. Today we will be talking about veganism, eating plant-based, maybe some of the health benefits, maybe any questions that someone who may want to be a vegan may have, and just all things vegan and plant-based. We're going to get right into the meat of this topic.
I want to say thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you.
What's the name of it one more time?
Get Your Ass Up and Move Fitness and Nutrition Podcast.
I love it. It's so important to get your ass up and move daily.
That's right.
I love it. So a little backstory about me. I come from a music background. I've always been in music. So I spent a lot of my younger life, still young, but my younger life in the studio, traveling, making music. So and it's been pretty cool. You know, my family still works in music to this day. But I kind of pulled back from it a little bit because I found myself just in some health issues. So with traveling, not having like proper food all the time around, just having to go get fast food a lot, or just spending a lot of time in the studio, I just found myself walking up the street, going to Waffle House, going to the corner store, getting bags of like chips and sodas. And I just found myself in a bad place with my health, gaining, I was like a little over 200 pounds. I think at my heaviest, I was probably like 215, 210.
Wow.
Cigarette smoker, just all bad.
So I wouldn't have thought that, right?
Yeah, every time I tell somebody I smoked cigarettes for a long time, they're like, really? Like, you smoke cigarettes? Like, yeah.
But it's just from like, following you on Instagram mainly, and just to see your lifestyle and how you move, right? It's amazing to me to know that you were there.
Right.
So that should be inspiration for someone who probably have been there, who think that, I'm whatever year old and I'm overweight and I've been smoking cigarette for all these years, I'm just gonna die a cigarette smoker. But
no, you don't have to
be that way.
It doesn't at all. So I end up one day, just to give you a story, like I was just on my back porch smoking a cigarette, flicked the cigarette out in the house, walked up the stairs, and I had this pain in my chest, like something I've never felt before, and it hurt, but it felt like I couldn't breathe.
Oh, wow.
So that same day I ended up having to go to the hospital, and they found like blockage.
Oh,
in my God. Yeah, in my arteries, like, my heart wasn't pumping like it should be. Right. But that was just due to the food I was eating and to the cigarette smoking.
Wow.
So I just kind of like had to make a decision. Like I seen my grandma die from congestive heart failure. I seen a couple of my uncles pass from the same thing, congestive heart failure. So it's something that
it's in your blood somewhere.
Family,
right.
So,
But that does not mean that you have to go down that road, right?
And I am a living witness of that.
That's right.
So that's exactly where I was going.
That's right.
So you don't have to they try to put that on you sometimes. People will put that on, your grandma had diabetes,
so you're gonna have it too.
Right, not
yes.
true.
Yes.
You have those habits your grandma had.
That's right.
Then that might just happen to you. So I just had to make a choice, and I had to make a decision whether I wanted to live or die, and if I wanted to do it having a surgery and taking pills for the rest of my life.
That's right.
So I just told them that I wanted to think about it, even though they tried to like make it like a next day procedure. They wanted me to like come back.
So let me get this. So when you went into the hospital with that chest pain, they wanted you to make a decision right now to have some kind of heart surgery.
Right.
And you wanted time to think about it.
Right.
Got it. Okay.
And I never went back.
Really?
Never went back. Yeah, my parents were kind of hot with me because they ended up having to come to Atlanta. It was like a whole thing. It was like a scary situation.
Right.
Like, and my mom knows, like, it's her side of the family. You know what I'm saying? deals with that, even though my dad's side has like little issues too, but that heart thing runs on my mom's side, so she was really freaked out, you know what I'm saying? So, and you know, like that older generation, like, you know, they believe in the doctor and that whole thing, you know what I'm saying? So they put a little pressure on me trying to make me do that, but I was like, I think I'm gonna do something different. And at this time in the world, like, we didn't really have like Instagram, YouTube wasn't a big thing. You might have had a couple, but you don't have like all the vegan shows and all that. So I just got into some books and I just started doing some reading. And I was just searching online about congestive heart failure, and that's how I kind of ran into like veganism, plant-based eating. I knew a little bit because I had a friend that was vegan, and she used to always get on me and my friends about
changing your diet,
changing the diet,
up the way you eat,
and then stop eating certain things. And she was actually the reason I let go of beef and pork years before this even happened. But I was still eating like certain things like chicken, but I was eating a lot of high processed foods, like the cakes and the snacks, and I was a gas station eater. Like,
so that was your Publix or your Kroger was the gas station.
The gas station.
Oh my God.
Stayed at the gas station. Oh my God.
Wow. Yeah. So let's stick a little pin right there. But so how would you describe veganism? Like what? Because there are some people out there who probably have no idea what it means. I know there are people in my family who think I am a vegan, but I am a pescatarian. So they think because I eat only seafood that I am a vegan. So for someone out there who may not know what, you know, veganism is, how would you describe it to them?
So veganism is eating no meat at all, no dairy. So no dairy products, no milk, no cheese, and it's basically just you're eating all plants. All plants, no dairy, no cheese. Then you have like vegetarians, but vegetarians still kind of dabble in like the milk, the cheese a little bit in certain products. But veganism is none of that.
So it's just completely plant-based.
Just
all
plants.
Of your nutrients come from plant-based products.
Absolutely.
Right. So with that said, what are some of the health benefits of being a vegan? What would you say?
So what I have discovered and the benefits that I've experienced through veganism or plant-based eating. I like to say plant-based.
Plant-based. I prefer that terminology as well.
Me too, because I think vegans just got a bad rap, and they like just how people think about vegans, but we're not. But I'm gonna answer your question.
No, but seriously, it is something to talk about, right? Because I think there's some people who, even on social media, who are vegans who are actually bullies.
Right.
And a lot of people don't want to discuss that, but it is a real thing.
That's a real thing, and that's why I don't really, when people say vegan, I don't associate myself with that, because that's how I look at vegans. And when I was trying to get myself together, that's how I kind of felt about vegans too. So when people say, oh, they criticize or they're just mean people, like, I can agree with that.
That's
you know what I'm saying? So I just like to say plant-based, because that stigmatism that comes with being a vegan is not like a
it's not a positive
thing.
It's almost like religion is how I look at it. You're going to hell if you're not, this denomination. You know what I mean?
That's exactly what it's like.
And it's so wrong if we or us as, health conscious people who are into health and wellness, who is going to bully someone into becoming how are we going to be successful to get those people on this healthy side, right?
It's not going to work like that. It's not going to work like that. You're going to turn more people away. That goes back to what you said with religion. When you talk to people like that, oh, you're going to go to hell if you do this, or go to hell, like, why wouldn't I run away from you talking to me like that? Like, that's crazy. You scaring me now.
Right. So we were talking about some of the health benefits.
The health benefits. So the things that I love about eating this way is feeling lighter. Just the feeling of feeling lighter is a big thing to me. Another thing that I feel like comes with being a vegan or eating more plant-based. So I always like to describe people, I always give people this like scenario. I said, man, if I cut you in half, you're full of tubes on the inside. I always say I wish that people would see through so they could see how your blood moves through your body, how your lymphatic system works, and how the lymph fluid moves through your body. You're full of tubes.
Right.
Even if it's all the way down to your bones, if you put like a magnifying glass on your bones, like a super magnifying glass, or what do they call them? The scopes that the scientists use,
right.
You will see that there's a lot of holes there, right? So just not being clogged up in those tubes, the different tubes, the way your blood runs through your body.
Because one disconnection or one little clog in one of those tubes or those veins can just cause the whole body to be in mayhem, right?
Exactly. And just lower blood pressure. The blood pressure, man, my blood pressure used to be so high, but through eating this way, my blood pressure has gone down.
Without taking medication.
Right. Without
just from
no
the food
medication.
That you
This is just change of food. I decided not to go that route. And I haven't taken medication since I got into that lifestyle. I really mastered it.
Right.
Because it took me a minute to like really master it. So I had to like give up certain things. But just my blood pressure, the way my blood flows through my body now, and I know it's a different, because that was one of the things that I was having an issue with.
That's right.
My heart the blood wasn't flowing.
Right.
Why was it not flowing the way? Because it was sticky and gooey from the high processed foods and the milk and the cheese.
Right,
and
that just
like
get clogged in your arteries, and your blood can't flow the way it's supposed to. Then your blood pressure is through the roof.
Right. Man, health is not hard. It's really not hard. It's so simple. And when you tell people these things, and I'm always trying to find these like layman terms, like trying to not really make it like this,
complex.
Use words like the lymphatic system and this and that, because people like, so I try to use these like, so that's why sometimes you might see my mind just racing, because I'm trying to figure out how to break it down.
A simple way to put it where people can really understand it, right? Because sometimes, for me, I mean, I have a certification in fitness and nutrition, and I find myself wanting to use those terminologies, but even that, I think, turn people away sometimes, right? Yeah. When you use certain terms that they don't know, okay, they're going to hop on to the next person who's going to tell them something in a simple form that they can understand.
Right. So I'm always trying to like break it down to the smallest denominator.
Right.
But energy through the roof. Like my energy is at an all-time high. When I was smoking cigarettes or just eating the way I was, like you have that burst of energy, but you have that serious crash, super crash, and all throughout the day, like just. But now I don't have those issues anymore. I don't.
So what is it that you think, as far as the energy, what is it about the food that you eat that you think give you that energy?
It's easier. So a lot of times, so let's just think about it like this. When I'm trying to think of a better word to use, but growing up, when you eat real big heavy meals and they say you have the itis, right?
Okay, right.
You have that itis, right? So the foods that I eat, they break down a lot easier in my system.
That's right.
Our body uses our digestion uses a lot of energy. Your body has to pull blood from the brain, pull blood from the bottom, from the feet, to go into the stomach to help break that food down. And when you have macaroni and cheese, beans, greens, bread, and a meat, all these different foods on one plate, your body got to work hard to figure out what to do with these things and try to break these things down. So guess what it does to you? Put you to sleep. So it can do its work. So that's what that itis is. But I found eating more plant-based, man, my food gives me energy.
That's right.
And it's supposed to give you energy. I can drink a juice or eat a plate of whatever I'm eating, a salad or just whatever I'm eating. But I shouldn't be yarning and be ready to pass
Or your
out.
body shouldn't be fighting that food, right? Your body should be utilizing that food for your heart to work, for your brain to work, for you to be able to get that energy to go out and exercise. Now, the thing that a lot of people don't understand, carbohydrate is where we get our energy from. So if you're eating plant-based, you're probably majority of what you're eating are carbohydrate. And people are so afraid of carbs. Don't ask me why people are so afraid of carbs. The brain needs carbs. When you go to work out, your body is pulling carbohydrate. So, I mean, what you have going on is like the ideal situation, but people just don't really understand that, especially as it relates to carbohydrates?
Yeah, and I think because we have been the marketing behind
That's right.
things that we should eat. These guys are genius when it comes to marketing.
Yeah.
And they've been putting these you need to have this much meat for protein, and you've seen it like a breakfast. Like if you look at any pictures of like old pictures from back in the day, you got like eggs, bacon, milk, toast, orange juice.
Yes.
You see,
and on the toast there's jelly.
Right.
And on the eggs there's some cheese.
Right.
Yeah. Do we really need all of that?
No, we don't. That's gonna put you to sleep. And I don't eat. I eat for energy.
That's right.
I eat to be able to move and get throughout my day.
And not to appease your taste buds.
Right. And that's the problem about this country that we live in.
That's true.
I know you're very traveled.
Diverse.
I've
been around a little bit.
You notice in certain countries you go to, the portion sizes aren't as big as they are when you come to America. We have these plates where I don't think I've ever been to another country and had leftovers to take with me.
Right, yeah.
See what I'm saying?
That's a good point, because I was born in Jamaica. I am Jamaican. And on our plate, it's 10% meat. You're getting a drumstick, right? You're getting your vegetables, and we eat a lot of starch and carbohydrates. And that is a very valid point. I came to the US and we're eating steaks that were this big,
huge.
How do you, and then potatoes on the side of that. And you're having an appetizer and a dessert. We're just not the healthiest nation in the world.
We not.
And you think veganism or a plant based is the right way to get us into that right direction?
I definitely think so, and I think it's kind of like, even if that's not the route you want to go, the meat and the bread shouldn't be the biggest thing on your plate.
That's right.
And you need to add a little. I look at people's photos on Instagram of their food sometimes, and I'm like, man, everything looks so great. It's just gray, brownish, whitish colors.
Where's the green stuff?
Where's the color?
Where's the red stuff?
Where's the red?
Where's the yellows?
Right.
Yeah.
You need these colors, these things in your body. Not like color from a Gatorade.
That's artificially flavored. You want the bell peppers and the spinach.
Artificially colored.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
color
right.
yellow number 9. Your body doesn't know what to do with that. So it's creating this mucus in your body and trying to figure out where to put that and what to do with that. And over time, you need mucus in your body. You're supposed to have mucus in your body, but over time, because of these foods we eat, and so much food, man, we're over mucus. We're over acidic. So I'm not saying that you can't eat milk. Eat meat. I'm not trying to push people to do what I do. I always say this on my gram, but just do something.
That's right.
Do something as far as moving your body and just taking certain things and not having so much.
That's right.
We eat way too much. And we eat too much for taste. But it's just the country we live in. That's how it is here.
So what do you tell the person who says a person who eat mainly plant-based diet do not get enough protein?
Man, I'll go...
I know if I hear somebody say that one more time, I'm going to scream.
At this point, that's all I got is, oh man. So it's protein in everything, number one.
There is.
Number two, your body can only process so much protein a day.
Amen,
now,
brother.
The majority of the people that come to me about protein, I can look at them and tell, like, you're not working out. You're not. Now, if you're doing these crazy workouts, like, you might need a little extra protein. You know what I'm saying? But I could sit down here and put a whole plate of like a salad with some nuts and seeds and tomatoes and peppers, and man, you're getting
carbs, you're getting protein, and you're getting fat.
All of it.
Plant-based provide all of those for you.
All of it. Yes. All of it. You don't, but that's the whole marketing scheme and those things. Like, oh, you gotta have this meat to be strong. Even like Arnold Schwarzenegger, who had a big famous bodybuilder that we all know about. He even talked about it, how they pushed him to really promote that whole...
Because supposedly it helped build strong muscles.
Muscles, right. You need your meat, you gotta be on your protein, But no, that's definitely a myth. I know way too many plant-based athletes
Right.
that are like humongous, big. Like,
because like you say, you need energy when you go to exercise.
Right.
And if your food is giving you the energy that you
Right.
need to get those muscles where they're supposed to be, the protein plays a very small role in it, right? You break down those muscles in the process of the muscle repair, and that's when they get bigger, not the whatever you're going to inject into it.
Right, exactly.
Right?
And I mean, look at some of the biggest animals in the world. Like, they're vegetarian, vegan animals. You know what I'm saying? They're not like eating a load of meat. Look at a gorilla. They might have a little bit of meat.
That's right.
They might kill one little animal every now and then, but the majority of their diet is plant-based.
It is plant-based.
And they will grab you and rip you in half. You know what I'm saying? And these are plant-based animals.
That's
Look
right.
at the giraffes. Look how big giraffes, elephants, like these are plant-based animals.
So ultimately, we don't need as much protein as we think we do.
That's definitely a
majority of the food on our plate, the higher percentage of it needs to come from carbohydrate.
Absolutely. And I wouldn't like promote this to anybody, but I know guys that are raw foodists that eat only raw foods.
That's right. I've
and
heard
they
of those
run ultra marathons.
That's right.
50, 100-mile marathons on nothing but plants. And I'm not talking about cooked plants.
That's right.
I'm talking about raw, whole foods in their whole state.
That's right.
Never cooked.
Pick it off of a tree and eat it.
That type
pull
of
it
thing.
out of the ground and
then
eat
going and running.
That's right.
A 50-mile race. Wow.
Yeah, but like you say, a lot of countries, even a lot of African countries, you just see the way people live.
Yep.
They may eat meat. Sometimes meat is a treat for them.
Right.
But we're not going to go into that.
Yeah. And the movement. The movement here, we sit behind cubicles.
That's right.
We drive everywhere.
I know.
In Africa, people walking.
They're
riding bikes. You know what I'm saying? So
our lifestyle, not getting our ass up and move, not eating the right food.
Right.
I mean, put those together and diabetes is through the roof. High blood pressure is through the roof. High cholesterol, heart diseases. I mean, you're a witness to that, right?
Definitely a witness to that.
So to me, I've always been, again, I'm not a vegan, but most of my food is plant-based, right? Majority of the food on my plate, I'm a high carbs person. I love my carbohydrate. And
you're an athlete too.
Well, right.
Right.
So, I love making my smoothies and I put nothing but, plants in it, no milk and, none of that other stuff. And that's where I get, my energy from. But let's twist it just a little bit. What's your opinion on meat substitutes?
Meat substitutes. Okay, so that's a good one. I'm not mad at meat substitutes. I'll eat meat substitutes from time to time. So I'll do like seitan or something like that with or a veggie burger or something like that. Like, I'm not really, like, me personally, I'd rather have a bean patty before I have like a Beyond Burger.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Those things are cool, but I wouldn't, this is just my personal, like, no offense to anybody that likes Beyond Burgers or any other kind of substitute meats, but I'm more into the plants, you know what I'm saying? I'm more into eating foods in their whole state, not always raw, but I got a garden and I might go to the garden and clip some collard greens and bring them back and cook some collard greens. Like, I'll eat my greens like that, or saute some things like that. So I do eat cooked foods. I'm not just like a raw person, but my opinion, can you have a grilled Beyond Burger every now and then? Why not? You know what I'm saying? Go for it. There's worse things out there today.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't live on that. I wouldn't make that the staple of my food. I wouldn't be eating that every day.
And I totally agree with you. That's kind of where I am with that. I don't mess with that stuff. Yeah. Because how I look at it, it's fake meat. It's processed usually in someone's lab somewhere.
Exactly.
What are you putting in it that I don't know? You know, when you pick your collard greens out of your garden, you know what you put on it. Right. You know, it's the seed that come to you know what you may have sprayed on it and what you're putting into your body.
And thank God we haven't had to spray anything on it. You know what I'm saying?
That's
good, you know?
That's right.
And the bugs might get to it a little bit, but the way I think is like, man, if the bugs like it,
that's right. It must be good,
right? Because the bug's not gonna eat it if something's wrong with it.
That's right.
But that's just me though. So,
okay.
I'm not trying to knock. I wouldn't knock that, but it's you just got to be careful with that. It's processed too, so it's just kind of like going to the gas station.
That's right.
You know?
But we're gonna wind it down here, and I have a couple more questions for you. How is it being social in the South, eating mainly plant-based? Family reunions, Christmas, just going out with friends to eat or whatever. How do you find that?
Well, I'll just say this: I've always been the black sheep in my family, so I'm just still the black sheep. Like,
right? Yeah.
Like for Thanksgiving, I'm pulling up with my own food.
Oh, okay.
And, like I in the beginning when I first took on this lifestyle, like I didn't want to be rude. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't like eat, but now. I don't care.
That's
like,
right.
I gotta do me. So y'all do y'all if that's what y'all want to eat. But I'm gonna be over here with my salad or my kale wrap and my plantains or whatever. You know what I'm saying? This is what I mean for Thanksgiving. So when I go to gatherings, now it's at the point where I just don't.
Right.
It's
important that once you choose a lifestyle, whatever that lifestyle may be,
right.
and you know that it's something that worked for you, you stick with it. Right. If your family members and your friends can't appreciate you for that, and judge you for what you're doing, then do they really love you?
Right. So, and I get talked about, you know what I'm saying? I'm used to it now, so. In the beginning, when I first started, it would be tough, and I would find myself cheating a little bit just to make myself fit in, and I'm gonna eat this just to fit in. But now it's just like, man, look, that stuff's not good. Like, I'm not about to eat it just to make
them feel good.
Right,
that's
to make
right.
me feel good. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
But what I found with that is that's leading by example. So now some of those cousins or some of those friends, they're
bingo.
So, what was that thing you was eating?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So how has your family handled, you losing all this weight, choosing this lifestyle? Are they supportive of you? Or do you...
I mean, they make jokes, you know what I'm saying, from time to time, but for the most part, they see it.
Right.
They know where I was at versus where I'm at right now. They see me running those marathons and like, I'm telling you, I used to smoke cigarettes for years. Pack a day, sometimes 2 packs a day, depending on how things was going. So now I'm running marathons, 26.2 miles without stopping. They still talk. They might talk their little smack, but they definitely call me on the low and be like, oh, I can't use the bathroom in 2 days. Or, what do I need to do for this? You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, like, I know they do that because it's like when I first started, like, I'd be like, I don't really want to do that. But I knew I had to do it for myself. I think a lot of them want to try it. They want to do it because when you're not feeling good.
That's right.
You feel them pings and them pongs going on in your body, like, oh, my back, and a lot of times that's your kidneys or that's something that's telling you.
That's right. It's a little sign it's giving you that you may want to change something.
The body is amazing.
It is.
It's so amazing.
It is.
And it will give you signs, but we have to listen and we have to care more about ourselves than we care what people think about what we're doing or what we're eating. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally.
So they talk. They talk about me, but I know they.
Right. I did it too. As a pescatarian again. Everybody think I'm vegan. I don't know why, but they think I'm vegan. And the family gatherings, they joke or whatever. My sister sent me a picture with a plate of ice and tagged me on Facebook and say that's what I have for dinner. No, I do not. But it's cool. It doesn't bother me.
No, it don't bother me. In the beginning it did, but now it's cool. Like, I'm good. I'll just be over here eating my kale. Like this Thanksgiving, we went to my brother's house. Traditional Thanksgiving. I went to Sealy's, and I bought me the raw plantains, and I had me some a nice punani kale wrap, and I just sat in the corner, ate that, and for dessert, I had a vegan cookie.
Good for you. Good for you.
And everybody else had sweet potato pie, chocolate cakes, which I used to love.
And you feel good and have energy after dinner. You don't have to sit down and pop your belt open.
Falling asleep on the couch.
Right.
And I'm in there with my nephews and my other little cousins.
With the kids, with all the energy.
Right.
Yeah. So 2 last questions before we wrap up here, Polo. You do this thing on Instagram that I think it's the most amazing thing.
Where I only eat watermelon, squeeze a little lemon on it, and I drink water, right? So this is my fast that I do, my long extended fast. For 21, sometimes I might do 30 days. So it's that time.
Like so much respect for you for doing that. You do this watermelon detox.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. How long do you do that for, and how long have you been doing it?
So I've been doing it. It's crazy. I would show it to you, but we're recording right now. This guy just hit me in my Instagram, who's a good music friend of mine. He just sent me a message, said, "Man, you've been doing that about 5 years." I was like, "Actually, it's been 8 years."
Okay.
So yeah, I've been doing this for like 8 years. So I've tried different levels of fasting. So there's levels to fasting, right? So you can do a raw food feasting where you just eliminate everything. You fasting on everything else, but you're just eating raw foods. You're having your raw nuts, raw seeds, fruits and vegetables, right? That's a level of fasting, right? Mono meal eating, which is what I'm doing, just eating one thing. And fasting off of everything else. I have one meal that I eat and I just focus on that. That's a level of fasting. And then you have a juice feast where you're just drinking juices, and that's a level of fasting. Then you have an all water fast, and that's a whole another level of fasting. But I found myself being comfortable with doing raw food fast and mono meal fast, and still being able to live my life. And I'm a business owner. I have to interact with people and kind of be out. So
you can't just go lock yourself down for a week and fast.
and I've done 21 days on liquid, but it's a whole nother level of like where your mind has to be, and certain things with your consciousness starts to happen. So it's a very spiritual thing for me when I do something like a liquid fast. So it's really tough to like be in the world.
I would imagine
it's tough to be in the world. So the watermelon fast, or the watermelon island, I like to call it watermelon island. Watermelon island is something I've been doing for 8 years, and it's basically where I just feast on watermelon for 21 days. And I give everything a break. So
you eat nothing else?
Nothing else.
So and you're doing that right now, right?
Yeah, I'm right now.
How do you feel now?
I feel good. Yesterday I had a headache, so I know that's just some of those things, just moving through, trying to get out. But that's easily fixed with like some kind of enema or something like that. But I feel good. My energy's up today. I feel real good. But I just make sure, like right before I came in the door, I drank like a 32 ounce watermelon juice just to bring me right back. I'm having some water. I got some more water in the car. But 8 years I've been doing it.
Good for you.
And I think it's important that sometimes, if you don't want to, like I always say, you don't got to do what I do, but do something.
Do something.
Yeah. So I think it's good to give our digestion a break.
Digestive system a break, yes.
We pound it and we beat it to the ground, and then we wonder why we get sick.
Right.
Your body is amazing. It can adapt. I remember my first cigarette. I coughed like crazy, just going crazy.
I know. After 2 or 3 years, like
the body. That's the amazing part of the body. The body can adapt to anything, even smoking poison. So once I kept smoking them, the body adapt. It's the same thing. Just with fasting, like you start letting certain things go out of your body and releasing certain things, and the body will adapt. But I think we should all give our digestion a break from time to time, and this is just the way I do it. I give my digestion a break. I try to my best to be to myself and just relax, and I do nothing. I just drink water, watermelon, squeeze a little lime or lemon on there, and that's my meal.
Wow, that just have to take a lot of discipline and mental strength to be able to get through doing something like that.
So that's what I always tell people. I found discipline through fasting. That's how I found discipline. So the discipline to work the way I work, you know what I'm saying? The discipline to do whatever I want to do or need to do, I can be disciplined at it. Because I've mastered
the art of discipline. That's right.
That's
right. I get it.
If that makes sense.
Yes, totally. Do you take any supplements? Because most people who have a mainly plant-based diet or vegans tend to be low in zinc or vitamin D or calcium. I think those are like the big culprits. B12, so you don't get that from your meat.
So I do a B12 from time to time. So when I do supplements, but I don't like, I go in and out of it.
I see.
You see
that makes sense because some of that stuff is stored in your body.
Right. So you got to give it time and let some of that stuff come out. That's another reason I like to fast to clean out, let some of that stuff come out. But I'll do zinc. I definitely do zinc. I do iodine from time to time. I do B12. And that's really it.
Yeah, those are the main ones.
That's it.
Yeah.
And sea moss, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'll put some sea moss in my teas and stuff in the morning time. But other than that, like I don't.
Good for you.
Good
for you. So one last question. Do you have, what advice would you give to someone who's like, I've been thinking about being a vegan for so long. I'm just struggling with it. I know people who, do plant-based for a week. And what advice would you give to that person?
My number one advice would be patient with yourself. Be patient with yourself. It took me a minute. So like, the first thing I would do is give up one thing. Don't just try to go cold turkey.
That's right, yes.
I'm going vegan tomorrow, because guess what? You'll be back
2 days later, you're not going to be vegan.
Right, exactly. So I would be patient with myself, one. And number two, start with meatless Mondays.
Right.
Something like that. Where you just say, Mondays, I'm not eating meat. Once you master that, then you say Monday and Tuesdays, I'm not eating meat, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And as the time goes by, the last thing I gave up was the last thing I could give up. Like, it took me so long to let go of that milk and that cheese.
Oh
my God, I love.
So just regular milk?
Yeah, just regular milk, cereal.
Oh, right.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch, whatever. Honeycombs, I love cereal and I love to drink the milk after. So sweet, so good, right? And cheese, melted cheese, stuff like that. Like it took me a long time to give that up, but just one at a time. That's what I did. So I gave up the milk first, and I started supplementing that with like almond milks, and started learning about the other milks. Now I love oat milk. Like that's my favorite milk in the world.
That's some good stuff.
Oh my God, I love oat milk. I had to like stay off the oat milk sometimes. Love oat milk, but my advice would be patient and one thing at a time.
Right.
Don't rush it. If you fall off, eat what you're gonna eat. You know what I'm saying? If you see that slice of cake and you eat a piece, or you know what I'm saying, or whatever, something happens, man, don't be mad. Just eat the damn cake.
Yeah,
you know
that's right. Don't beat up yourself,
and,
because then you're gonna get depressed.
Enjoy it, and when you wake up in the morning, start fresh with yourself. You know what I'm saying? Every day is a new day to start a new beginning. That's why I was like, new beginning, new day, new beginning. Right. So definitely be patient with yourself and just give up one thing at a time. Choose a thing. I'm not eating beef today, or I'm not eating beef or no meat on Mondays. Man, do that for a month first.
Right.
If you can do that for a month, no meats on Mondays, then you move to the next thing.
Right.
And you let things go a little bit at a time. And you start adding more plants into your diet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Good. That's definitely the route I took.
Me too.
Yeah. I cut out red meat was the first thing.
Yep.
Then I cut out chicken.
Yep.
For me, the milk was easy. I never liked milk.
Really?
But eggs was kind of hard for me.
Oh,
I don't know why eggs was so hard for me.
Too. But see, that was a combination: the eggs and the cheese.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, living in the South, like that's a staple.
It is.
That's a staple.
It is a staple.
We grew up on that. Eggs, cheese, and toast.
Yeah.
Cheese toast.
Yeah.
Oh my God. yeah. But I'm cool on it now. Like it don't faze me at all. Like I'm good. Like.
Right. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Man,
I really appreciate you coming out.
Awesome. Yeah.
And you hear what the man said. Take it slowly, you guys.
Yeah.
You don't have to go out there and want to be a vegan today and want to cut everything out of your diet today. Just one thing at a time.
Yeah, man. Like Nipsey says, it's a marathon.
It is.
It's a marathon, man.
And you run marathon, well, I run half marathons. That's kind of my thing. I started with 5K, and then I do some 10Ks, and then I do a half marathon, and then my goal is, to be able to run a couple of marathons.
Yeah.
But I'm a sprinter. That's what I do. I did that professionally.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
and
let's hear about that. I want to hear about that.
That's a whole nother podcast.
Okay.
But you know, one would say, I'm a sprinter, always a sprinter. No,
right.
You know, you could be a half marathoner, you could be a marathoner.
Absolutely.
If
you can sprint, you can run marathons.
That's right. And if you eat meat your whole life, you can become plant-based or a pescatarian, or just cut out meat just a little bit out of your diet.
Man, and just that little bit out of your diet, that's the part people fail to realize is that helps. That will help just a little bit.
That's right.
Just a little bit.
That's the way
help.
you approach everything in your life, right? You can't just up and say I'm a quit this or that. So thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity to have this conversation with you.
I appreciate you having me. This is dope.
I can talk about veganism, but eating seafood doesn't qualify me. People may think so. So I appreciate your insight, and I'm glad you're still here with us after your heart scare there.
Yeah, me and you both. Me, you, and my mom. Yeah,
I know, right? So tell us where we can find you on social media, Polo.
Okay, so Polizzy, Polizzy. A lot of my friends call me Polizzy, so that kind of stuck. Or Polo's World. Google me, baby. Or you can find me on Juice ATL. So that's Juice with 2 U's, JUICEATL.
All right.
Those are the 2 places you can find me.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, you guys. And until next time, you guys, Polo and I are out.
See ya.